This is the Erin Marie Podcast, where the pussified mentality gets thrown in the dumpster fire where it belongs, and mediocrity gets skull. We're talking total annihilation. This show is about getting off your ass and handling your shit, because the fate of the next generation depends on you becoming mentally unfuckwithable. Let's rock it, you unapologetic Americans. This is the Erin Marie Podcast, and here she is.
Community, what's good? I'm your host, Erin Marie, and this is the show where I teach you how to master your attention with real-world application so you can rewire your brain for the better, which means we're not on a mission, we're in a fight to rebuild America's backbone by arming each and every one of you with the tactics and indomitable will to reject mediocrity. This is how we ignite a revolution that produces an era of greatness and restores the only thought pattern that actually matters, an unshakable commitment to personal accountability and prosperity. Guys, if this is your first time listening, I want you to know I'm not an air quotes motivational speaker. I'm an entrepreneur, a neurobiologist, a human performance coach to the top 1% of people walking the planet, and somebody who works hard as fuck to bring you the strategies and throat punch motivation to become an uncommon force for good in the world. That's why the show isn't for everyone. The show is not for the victim clowns of the world or the crowd still romanticizing their rock bottom, which is exactly why you're not going to get some share circle, ring around the rosy bullshit that you learned in kindergarten that doesn't apply in real life. That's not what this show is. That's not who I am. And if that's what you're looking for, stop listening right now, tap out, and go find a community who'll coddle your delusion and deny that the victim clown mentality actually exists. You'll fit in nicely. Because the time that we spend together is all about exposing the bullshit that you crutch on to remain inside your own struggle. I'm going to shake it out in wide open spaces and help you understand why it exists in the first place, which means I'm going to call you out on your shit in a way that punches you in the throat and wakes you the fuck up. So expect it to hurt, because it's supposed to. This is where your brain gets rewired so that you can become mentally unfuckwithable. And before we dive in, let's make one thing clear about this podcast. I don't take sponsorships. That's how you know the message is clean. So, if you like what you hear on this episode or any of the Erin Marie episodes, I ask that you bring me a friend who also likes to learn something new or wake up and kick some ass every day. That's how we grow this movement together organically, just like good old-fashioned American values should be. So share the fuck out of this show and help me compete with the big dogs who spend thousands, because today, this is an Erin Marie style episode that I hope will get you to think and question the lies that are spewed in your direction. From the blamestream media, from society, and most importantly, by the lies that you tell yourself. Now let's get into the real shit. Many of you listening know who I am, but some of you haven't internet stalked me enough yet, and you're sitting there like, who the hell is this girl? Well, I'm somebody who gives a shit, that's who, about this country, about the next generation, and people who are drowning in their shitstorms with no life raft. I see it everywhere. People trying to control external chaos like they're trying to catch sand with their bare hands. And when they can't, they spiral, they sink. They're banging their heads against a fucking wall, searching for answers on the internet to their most pressing challenges, which, by the way, the internet can't solve. And what do these people do next? They climb into bed at night, crying their eyes into their pillow, praying to fall asleep before they fall apart. Why? Because they don't know what the fuck else to do. Do you know anybody like that? That used to be me. Maybe that's you. Maybe that's why you're here. You came here searching for the gold nugget, the tactic, the strategy, the edge. Okay, cool. You're about to get that, but it's not what you expect, because I'm about to hand you the one thing that separates the champions from everybody else. The thing that gives them the bulletproof edge in a world filled with knuckle-dragging, mouth-breathing, beta bitch, Care Bear motherfuckers that are solely responsible for the distressed state of their lives. This episode is mentorship, and you're going to get takeaways. And you're going to benefit from it if you just listen to me for the next few minutes and you take this shit serious. As some of you know, I'm a neurobiologist in the human performance sector, which means I work with the top 1%, the highest caliber people, the baddest motherfuckers on the planet, like neurosurgeons and spine surgeons, like NFL performance athletes, like our United States Special Operations Forces. They are the best at what they do, the very best. They invite me to sit in closed door rooms with them, not for social media selfies, but for the real, private, raw, unapologetic conversations. And I'm going to pull the curtain back and hand you 2 core truths that the top 1% live by that everybody else ignores and you are probably missing. And the first one is this. The highest caliber people understand how to build an ecosystem that protects them from their own bullshit, specifically self-sabotage. And it starts with one characteristic, and that characteristic is discipline. But before I break that down, let me talk about self-sabotage for a minute, because I want to make sure that your definition and my definition match up. Here's what I mean when I say self-sabotage. It's when you become the enemy inside your own gates. It's your toxic behavior patterns, your negative self-talk, your crippling perfectionism. It's your obsession with other people's opinions. It's the voice that says, if I do this, what will they think? It's your willingness to allow others to mold your situation, which, by the way, remains the source of all that's currently shitty in your life that you never, and I mean like never, end up changing. It's the voice that never shuts up long enough for you to take real action. It's a fucking guillotine that you build with your own hands, and now you're sitting under it. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if not, let me paint the picture for you. You make the decision to make positive changes. Yay. Life starts picking up. Momentum feels real. You're eating right, training right. Your interpersonal relationships are solid. Your sleep hygiene has been on point. You're applying all those lessons from the personal development literature that you keep next to your nightstand. And then, bam, you cut the rope to the guillotine and chop off your own progress on purpose. Why? Because you voluntarily enter into your own start-stop patterns justifying the day off, let's take a breather mentality. So I want you to think about this and really lean into this concept for a moment. If you are someone right now who believes that you are not waking up in the morning and consciously choosing to destroy all that progress, including any momentum that you've gained, then how the hell did you get into the place that you're in right now? Spinning in circles, unable to prioritize. You've got 38 tabs open in your brain and can't focus on one. Your calendar is filled with broken commitments, missed workouts, canceled plans, and excuses dressed up as self-care. You set alarms that you don't get up for. You start your week with goals. And then in less than 48 hours, you're neck deep in impulse decisions, doom scrolling sessions that leave you feeling like a ghost of the person that you swore you'd become. And then you wonder why shit isn't working out for you. You wonder why the same anxiety, the same confusion, the same emotional chaos keeps circling back like a vulture. It's not coincidence. That is your start-stop pattern. That is the self-sabotage. If you keep labeling your start-stop patterns and quitting on yourself as burnout, or the timing just wasn't right, then you're going to keep spinning inside your same tired circles, living inside the exact pieces of your life that you claim you hate. You claim that there are pieces of your life that you hate or that you want to abandon or you want to outgrow. That's what you claim. But your actions say otherwise. So let's get really fucking clear right now. Radically successful people don't live like this. They refuse to. They study their own patterns. They spot the trap before they step into it because they understand the power of a disciplined ecosystem, one they build, protect, and bleed for, one that's strong enough to protect them from themselves and all the shit that keeps them away from living a life they love. A disciplined ecosystem is a self-engineered mental weapon. It's not a mood. It's not a vibe. It's not a vision board. It's a skill set built from action-oriented directives that, when stacked together, operate like a force field between you and the chaos that you are wired to create. And those directives, they're what keep you from doing the backstroke in a cesspool filled with shit, also known as your own destructive habits. You know, the pieces of the life that you claim you hate, but you keep engaging in. And here's what it looks like. Radically successful people, the real ones. I'm talking about the ones that by anybody's definition are extremely successful. Not the people in your circle who crash in 6 months. The radically successful people. They're the first ones to ask themselves high performance questions on repeat that get to the root of being their own bottleneck, such as, who the hell am I surrounding myself with? Which foods fuel me versus fuck me up? What am I reading every day to sharpen my edge? Am I sleeping like someone who wants to dominate life? And here's the big one, the one that separates the high performers from the Care Bear motherfuckers. The question is, what are the stories I tell myself when I'm sad and alone? And if you are not interrogating yourself like this on the daily, if these questions don't even occur to you, this is exactly why you keep spinning inside your same tired circles, wondering why shit isn't working out for you. Ask yourself, are you the system failure in your own life? Are you the piss droplet in your own life? And why the hell are some of you still trying to get validation from people who are allergic to progress? People who haven't changed in over a decade. These are people who thrive on you playing small in your life. They need you weak. They need you fat. They need you depressed. They need you apathetic because your growth breaks their narrative. So instead of rising, you dial it back, you fall back into the same toxic habits that kept you spinning inside your same tired circles, month after month, year after year. And that's when you tell yourself the biggest lie of all. You tell yourself, maybe it just wasn't meant to be. Guys, fuck that shit. That is bullshit. It wasn't meant to be because you decided it wasn't with your actions. You chose comfort over calling, approval over purpose, mediocrity over self-mastery. You sold your autonomy just to fit in with people who haven't grown in over a decade just so that you could stay relatable. The next time you so much as think about playing small in your life, I want you to recognize what's happening in real time, give yourself a swift kick in the balls, and handle your shit like the badass motherfucker that you are. Are you picking up what I'm putting down yet? Radically successful people don't chase permission. They don't abdicate their autonomy to insecure motherfuckers with dead eyes and dead dreams. They don't get pulled into the gravitational suck of other people's excuses, and you shouldn't either. So now let me take this concept a step further, because there's a second point that I want to make with you guys. This is the bigger point of the two. This is the harder of the two. It's the one that you're not going to like. And this one, it's the one that the majority of you listening aren't willing to do. And this is also what separates those who chase their most ambitious desires like a bitch in heat from every other half in, half out, circle the drain, Care Bear motherfucker walking on the planet. And it's this. The second core truth that radically successful people understand, the real game changer, is that they don't fuck with their discipline ecosystem once they've built it. They don't intentionally do things to screw themselves from the very system they build from scratch. They protect the system. They respect the effort, time, energy, and the intention it took to establish the very action-oriented directives and skill sets that allow them to keep going. They make it nearly impossible to self-sabotage. Have you ever met anybody who's ultra successful by anybody's standards, people who have their shit together in life, who wake up and say, you know what? I think I'll go ahead and make a series of really bad fucking decisions today. I think I'll take the day off from my goals and annihilate my progress just for giggles. Hell no. So why the fuck do you think that you can get away with that? Why do you think that you should be out making a series of bad decisions today and still reap the reward of radical success? In fact, these ultra successful people that I keep referencing, which are my clients, by the way, they might not be as loud or even as outspoken on social media, for example, as I am, but if you break down their habits, if you break down their decision-making or the way that they process adversity or conflict, you're going to find a common denominator among all of us, and it's this do not fuck with the discipline ecosystem mentality. Whether they have a deal on their desk or not, whether they have millions in the bank or not, whether they woke up tired or not, whether they're sore from their workout the previous day or not, it does not matter. You can bank on the fact and predict with certainty that these people will protect their ecosystem at all cost. They protect the system like it's sacred because it fucking is. And you're not. You're bailing on your discipline and any progress that you've made 9.5 consecutive days afterwards to take a breather and celebrate your 9.5 day streak of nutritious food eating. Well, congratulations on just giving up on yourself. When you take a break from your progress, you are acting like the people who carry the entitled attitude, the exact same ones who bitch, whine, complain, yell into the phone about how the government's fucked them over, their race fucks them over, their parents were shitty to them growing up. The ones who bang their victim drum on social media, posting their sob stories and chasing double taps and sympathy from total strangers on the internet. These are the Care Bear motherfuckers of the world who never, and I mean like never, outgrow their current situation. And this is how you're acting when you take the day off and celebrate your 9.5 day accomplishment of next to nothing bullshit, which is why you're losing all the time, by the way. If you stop to think about it, bailing on your discipline makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And ultra successful people think about this concept holistically from all angles of the spectrum, meaning they don't play games with their system in a way that most people just don't get. For example, they will cancel vacations. They will cancel invitations to parties. They will ghost the bullshit group chat. They will walk away from anyone and anything that will get in the way of fucking with their discipline ecosystem. I have personally engaged in friendship breakups over this concept. I've walked away from people I once loved. I slit the throat of relationships I once treasured because I refused to allow their half-ass energy to pollute my mission, because the cost of keeping these people around was too high. I've canceled vacations and trips because of how much momentum I have right now that I can't stop to be part of anything other than greatness. So ask yourself, why is it that you keep doing the backstroke in the cesspool you call life and dabbling here and dabbling there with this idea when you were just making changes on a molecular and cellular level? You go hang out with the old crew and get fucked up. You drunk dial your old toxic relationship and wake up with serious regret. You take a staycation and you go eat like shit for 4 or 5 days. You crawl back to old vices, same broke-ass friend circles, and same comfort zones. If you feel trapped all the time and can't pinpoint why, you got to get your head out of your ass and you have to handle your shit. I am not here to coddle you like a delicate little flower. This isn't the Delicate Little Flower podcast. This is the raw, unfiltered, unapologetic, ambitious as fuck message that I hope will get you to think and question the lies that you tell yourself. I told you at the beginning of this podcast, I'm going to expose all the bullshit that you crutch on to remain inside your own struggle because your life is what's at stake. And the mission of this show is to get you guys to start chasing your most ambitious desires before it's too late. I don't want you waking up in the morning every morning, hating your life and barely surviving. That's a slow death of suffocation. I want you driving the tip of the spear straight into your goals like a fucking warrior, becoming an uncommon force for good in the world. I want to see you join the ranks of the mentally unfuckwithable. But that is not going to happen until you build the discipline and resolve to keep going in the face of adversity regardless of circumstances. And don't get this twisted. This is not a quick fix. This is a daily battle. You have got to practice this on the daily. Practice what, Erin Marie? Showing up for yourself, keeping the promises that you make to yourself, getting back up after you get punched in the teeth, spitting blood, punching back, even when you're frustrated, tired, pissed off, emotionally exhausted, even when everything inside you is screaming to give up, even when it feels like swallowing glass. You have been circling the exact same drain for far too long, and it's time to break free and move the fuck on. You have to build this shit brick by brick when the rest of the world is screaming at you to be more realistic. And you're like, oh my God, but I don't know if I can. I'm too tired. Tough shit. Of course you're tired. Of course you're struggling. Being tired and struggling is the price of entry if you want to do anything great with your life. It's not some sort of distinct, special burden that only you and you alone carry in the world. Being fucking tired is normal. Being tired is the human condition, especially for those of us who aren't sitting on the sidelines, who are in the arena, spitting blood, fighting demons in our heads every single day. And if you want to build your ultimate life, if you want to chase personal excellence, if you want to feel fulfilled, if you want to experience prosperity, then you better get used to what I'm telling you today. You better understand that you're going to be more tired more often than not, physically, mentally, emotionally, every way in between which you can think of. It is a tired man's game, especially if you've got people that you currently surround yourself with, friends, family, colleagues, neighbors, the people at the sidelines of your kiddo's soccer game, the social media gurus that you follow, especially if they're not rooting for your evolution. Because maybe they're currently doing the backstroke inside the cesspool they call life, which means they don't like it when other people win. Because getting your shit together requires a level of honesty most people are incapable of. So they seduce you back to the old version of you because they benefit from you when you play small. The devil bites you where God has blessed you. That's why you might hear them talk shit to you and begin laughing at you for striving for more, or poke fun at your goals, or mock your ambition, or roll their eyes when you talk about doing bigger, better things with your life, because your growth forces them to confront their own mediocrity. Because when you actually win, it exposes the fact that they're not even trying, and they don't have the balls for that. And if you're like, okay, I want to do this. I want to build my discipline ecosystem, Erin Marie, but I don't know what I'm doing. Well, fuck, guys. Neither do I. We're adapting as we go. We're out there doing some shit. And if you do enough good shit, then eventually good shit happens. So go chase your most ambitious desires. Go surround yourself with people who make obsession feel normal and who aren't afraid to do the work behind closed doors that nobody sees or claps for. And find people who champion success and wealth and stop sitting on the sidelines being a fucking critic, acting like a Care Bear motherfucker. There is no one coming for you. No one is coming to bring you a new life. No one is coming to hand you a brand new life. It's on you to change your lifestyle for the positive. It's on you to keep up with that lifestyle consistently. And you know what? If it was just about the everyday common discipline, I'd tell you to go set an alarm or put some reminders on an electronic calendar. But that's not all there is to it. You know why? This life is about you doing things that better your life and the lives of those around you. This life is about you building a journey of overcoming so that others can see what's possible. This is about you waking up every day and finding out what works and what doesn't work. You're trying shit. You're failing, learning, adapting, iterating. You do it again, you do it better, and you do it until you succeed. The way that you begin to live your life will automatically impact everyone around you in such a positive way if you do this. And when you make your life purposefully harder, you give others the silent permission to do the same in their life. You show others what's possible. And all of those efforts will lead you to my very favorite experience in life, which is shaking hands with yourself for the first time in a long time. It's going to give you data points that you don't have yet. And those data points are perspective. And that perspective is what consistency and the right behaviors brings to your life when you have the courage to make your life purposefully harder. And I'm not talking to all of you about suddenly becoming this super aggressive, hyper distressed human being. This message that I'm delivering today is for all people, including those who are reserved and quiet and introverted and extroverted and ambiverts of the world. This is exactly why what I'm talking to you about today is so practical. It's literally for everybody. If you are living a life that you secretly hate, you don't have anything to lose by doing this. You have nothing to lose. So you're going to sit there looking for the secret recipe for success on the internet that doesn't exist, or read another personal development book and not implement the information, or listen to another one of my podcast episodes and mentally masturbate over what you know you need to do without taking any action, or dream about how you're going to start tomorrow like a pussy-ass little bitch, or wait even more because you think the world owes you something? Or are you going to do something that brings you closer to greatness? This is the concept that you should be marinating on. Until next time, community, keep disrespecting the norm, keep rewiring your brain, keep being ambitious as fuck, and keep giving yourself the radical permission to choose discipline over everything.
This has been the Erin Marie Podcast. So many people walking around out there are professional victims and complainers, and we ain't having it. If you agree and you've gotten something from the show, make sure to like, rate, and review. Remember, stay off your ass, no excuses, and never settle for mediocrity. Catch you next time on the Erin Marie Podcast.